Well, hello, good morning, good afternoon, aloha. As you can read my hat in the beautiful yellow hue on my hat. I love the color yellow. So aloha, hello. I hope that this year is starting off really well for you. For me, I have a hard time complaining. I just got back from a really amazing, blessed time in Hawaii. My family, my parents, my sister and brother-in-law gifted me and Abby with a trip to Maui coming out of Christmas. Allowed us to get out of the rain and the cold for a little bit and into the sunshine, onto the beach, to be able to play in the waves, watch the whales jump. We actually got to swim with sea turtles. It was a really amazing time. And if you know me well enough, you know that I love the sunshine, I love the beach, and it was a really blessed time. And we were overwhelmed with not just the love of our family, but the love of the islands, the aloha spirit that greeted us when we got there, and has given us this kind of boost moving forward. I kind of want to share with you today. I kind of want to share some of the lessons that as I started to slow down, as I started to decompress from everything that had been going on in the last year and a half. This was the first vacation we had in a year and a half. So there was a lot of stuff that's built up that was kind of pressing down on us that we needed to release. And we didn't release everything. I mean, we only had 11 days and a year and a half's worth of stuff to decompress, but we got a lot of it out. And really, as we started decompressing, what's amazing is that the Lord started to reveal some things through the process that I want to share with you today. One of those comes from actually the golf course. I was blessed to check one of the things off of my bucket list I've had since I was a little boy, and that was I wanted to golf in the Hawaiian Islands. I remember watching Double Dare, I'm dating myself there, watching Nickelodeon, watching these different shows, or even Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune, and watching people golf on Hawaii, and that always looked so amazing. And I got to do that on this trip. This hat's from the Wailea Blue golf course. And let me tell you, the views were amazing. The golf was okay, because I'm not a great golfer, but it was an amazing experience. And the Lord really kind of met me there through some of my frustration and kind of showed me some things. Let me tell you, this little thing, this little ball, can be the center of so much frustration, especially for me. About 12 of these things in the pro shop, and I only came back with 3 or 4 of them. That should tell you everything you need to know. So this little frustration, as I'm going through that, I practiced leading up to the trip. I practiced before we even started the round. I thought, man, I'm going to be great. This is going to be good. But as soon as I got on that first tee box, took the swing, and the ball went off a tree, I was like, oh no. Found the ball, hit the ball, just couldn't figure out what I was doing. The first half of my round, I was hitting the ball off the top. I was missing the ball. I was hitting it left and I was hitting it right. Not playing the way I knew I was capable of playing. And if I wasn't in Hawaii, I'd been very frustrated. But it's hard to be frustrated when you're surrounded by the beauty of Hawaii. But as I'm trying to think this through, because I know what I need to do, I felt the Lord remind me, you're not having the results you want because you're rushing. You're not taking the time to breathe. You're not taking the time to slow down, to kind of calm yourself down. Because the key with golf is that in order for you to really do well, in order for you to be successful, you have to have good mechanics. And good mechanics happen when you take your time, when you're smooth, when you're not rushing, when you can clear your mind and just swing. And amazingly, as I did that in the later half of my round, I started to breathe. I started to push all the concerns of the world out and just kind of be in the moment, slow my mind down, stop worrying about the group behind us being impatient because we're taking too long. My golf game all of a sudden got better because I was taking the time to breathe and to have good mechanics. I really feel like the Lord was saying, this is really key for you in life. And this is probably key for you. We need to take time to just slow down. The pace of life, they talk about on the island, this is the island, this isn't the mainland, slow down. You need to be on island time. And there really is some truth to that. We need to take some time, especially with how high-paced and fast-paced life can be, to kind of slow down, calm down, let ourselves catch up. Because when we do so, we find that we actually end up being stronger and more efficient. We're actually more productive in what we're doing. And as we're talking about mental health here on Mental Health Mondays, when we allow ourselves to slow down, it allows our mindset, it allows our psyche and our brain to catch up. See, I know many of you have heard of the fight or flight reflex, the response. See, just like every other mammal on the planet, we are designed with this response to stimulus, where we're either going to fight or we're going to run away. Those responses are meant to be temporary for us to get to safety. The problem is when we have stress in our life, when we have constant stress and we're going at that high rate, it's like we're constantly fighting or flighting. It's like we're constantly trying to find that safe place. And what happens is that, actually, let's go back a minute. Put yourself on a running path, on a track, and run, and run, and run, and run. Eventually, you're going to get tired to where you're going to drop. Our mindsets, our brain, our mental health is the same way. If we're constantly stimulated, our brain is constantly running, and we're not giving it a break, we're not taking time to slow down, to walk a little bit, to enjoy what's around, we get worn down, we get tired, we start to make mistakes, we start to forget things, we start to become agitated, irritated, and we start to see pathology rise. And this is why, getting back to the golf ball, my golf game suffered because I was rushing through things. I wasn't taking time to slow down. I wasn't taking time to look around at the beauty. I wasn't taking time to just get back to what I knew I needed to do. And when we don't take the time with our mental health, we end up decreasing in our mental acuity. We end up having pathologies. And we end up not seeing the success that we want to see. Being a college student, being in the later stages of my doctoral program, man, I can completely relate to this. I'm speaking to myself here, where there are things where I'm constantly learning, and going through and reading all these books that I'm forgetting stuff. But what's amazing is that as I took time the last few weeks to just kind of decompress and get away from everything, I'm starting to remember some of the things that I was taking in months ago. It's amazing how when we take time to stop, it allows the rest of life to catch up to us. What I mean by that is when we're constantly running, when our brain is constantly going in, it's taking in new stimulus. It's taking in new things. But it's hard to process what you've already seen when you're so focused on what's in front of you. So when we stop, take time to breathe, take time to look around, it allows all those things that from the past that we're still trying to process to come back and be processed. Think about your computer for a second. If you're constantly pushing the enter button or the S button or any of the buttons, your computer will freeze, and it takes time for it to catch up, for it to completely process everything before it gets back to normal operating. Our brains are the same way. And so what is my point in saying this? In our seminar, that we actually have another one coming up here very soon, we talk about rational, meaningful detachments, meaning taking time to do things that allow you to detach from life. Mini vacations for your brain. Mini breaks. So how do we do this? What does this look like? Well, on a daily basis, take multiple, work for an hour, take a 5-minute break. It could be grabbing a cell phone that's not connected to something and playing a game. It could be going outside and flying a remote control airplane. Do something that allows your brain to reset. If you do that every 30 minutes to an hour, you will be able to reset your brain on a daily basis. On a weekly basis, go and take a couple hours, go for a walk, go for a hike. Find something that's not expensive, maybe even free, and do something that brings you life. Do something that's not work, that's not ministry focus, it's not whatever, but something that brings you life, that allows you to disconnect and clear your brain, clear your mind. And then if you do this on a monthly basis, you'll find something, whether it's golf or going to the movies or something maybe costs a little bit of money. Go and find something that you can do that brings you life, that allows you to disconnect. Because in doing so, it'll give your brain a break. It'll allow everything that's going on in your life, all the things that you've been running through that need to be processed. It allows your brain to become more efficient in what it's doing. And in doing this, it might sound counterintuitive, but if you will slow down, if you will not try so hard, if you will take time to not do anything, to just quiet your soul, to quiet yourself, to slow down, you'll actually find that even though you're spending less time doing something, you'll actually get more done because you'll be more effective and efficient in what you're doing. When we take time to not do something, it becomes beneficial for us and beneficial for our output in life. So this is why God gives us, every 7 days, we're told to take a Sabbath. God himself took a Sabbath because he knew that we need rest in order to be at our best. So in the same way that my golf game got better when I stopped worrying about time, when I took time to breathe, when I took time to stop focusing on everything else around and just chose to be present in the moment and quiet, things got better. You might have stuff in your life where you're like, I just can't do it. It feels like the world is crashing around me and it feels like I just got to run. Let me challenge you. Don't run. Slow down. Take a time. Take a breath. Just like if you're running, and you stop and you catch your breath, it gives you a little more strength to continue going. I'm not saying you have to stop. Just slow down a little bit. Slow down. So as we go through this year, we're going to kind of focus on some of these things on Mental Health Mondays. But one thing I want you to get today, slow down. Slow down. Take some time and give yourself the grace to slow down. So I hope that this has helped you. I hope that in all my rambling today, that something sticks out with you and you will just take the time to slow down. Aloha, God bless. I'll see you next week.